Welcome in to episode 5 of our Let's Play Civilization 7 series. I'm excited to be launching into the game. We are early antiquity age still, and we are about to finish our first wonder of the game. Fingers crossed. We'll talk about why my fingers are crossed here in just a second when we jump into the game. However, if you need to catch up on all of the action, down in the description below is a link to episode 1 that you can catch up on everything that has led up to this moment early in the antiquity age in our game of Civilization 7. We are here, not in our capital city. We are here on the brand new loading screen. And why I wanted to show the loading screen off is because this, according to articles written by Firaxis from their UI dev team, this is kind of the glimpse into what we can expect from the UI team over the course of the next little while. They have obviously been kind of knowledgeable on the community's feedback regarding the UI, and I am very excited about what they've done some things already, and they've been doing things, right? They've been improving things slowly but surely. They basically mentioned in an article when they came out with update 1.2.2, is that I think that's the one, which was when recording this past week, which has been a fantastic update. If you've not read the patch notes, they're absolutely fantastic. Every change they've made, I am in full agreement with. Balance changes, UI changes. There are just so many good things in this patch. I cannot state to you how pleased I am with the direction that the game is headed. This patch was an absolute lights out great patch. What an update from Firaxis on this one. And the reason we're here on this screen is because the UI team said this is our glimpse into the future of what they want to do for the UI. They said we wanted to start with something that didn't impact other parts of the game so we could get kind of a baseline down for what we want out of our UI, and kind of basically what they're mentioning as kind of like a redo of the UI. So they want to take the UI and make it much better. And this is kind of their starting point for that. Again, they've done things already, but this is their start for kind of a larger scale revamp of the UI according to what they are writing in their articles. And it is really good. Number one, the audio already played, so you didn't get to hear it, but Gwendolyn Christie went in and re-recorded lines for these scenes, which is absolutely amazing. So Gwendolyn Christie now reads this entire thing to you so much better than the old loading screen. And so that's number one, more Gwendolyn Christie. Excellent. We've all been asking for that for the most part. And look at the wealth of information that is now included in a succinct fashion within the loading screen. If the rest of the UI gets this sort of treatment, I think that the game is going to be headed in a very, very good direction. So let's take a look. We get Amina. We get, again, economic and militaristic. This is all on the loading screen, right? Before we even click in, we get all of the information, again, about all of the different pieces of the puzzle that we've selected. We get a little bit of history. We get the leader ability. We get all of the different pieces of the puzzle from Amina, +1 resource capacity, +1 gold on resources assigned to cities, +5 combat strength on units on plains and desert. We get a couple of tips and hints, and if we hit the arrow, we can get all of the other information. Information about the civ that we're playing, Axumite, who is cultural and economic. We get, again, a little bit of history. And actually, sorry, Gwendolyn Christie reads this piece, I believe. Gwendolyn Christie reads the Axumite piece. I don't think that she reads the Amina piece. It's one or the other, but I'm pretty sure it's the Axumite piece is what she reads. We get our civilization ability, +2 gold on resources, +3 production towards resources on our wonder. And then if we keep going, we get our unique building and all of the text information for our unique building. We get our unique units and all of the text information for our unique units. We get our traditions. Now, there's more than just the traditions in the civics tree for a specific civ. And so we're missing a little bit of information still, but I mean, they gotta stop somewhere, right? Otherwise it's just too much. But we get all of our information on Port of Nations, Throne of My Fathers, May This Please the People, right? So we got a whole bunch of different pieces of the puzzle for this. And then if you picked any mementos, we did not, but if you've picked any mementos, it will show you the mementos as well. So absolutely just a wealth of information, a huge step in the right direction. They made the images bigger. just all around a massive improvement in my personal opinion. So, and that's just the start, right? So very excited about that. All that said, let's press the begin game button and we'll jump in as we get going. Once again, you'll notice that we need to turn on our yields. So if you're probably getting used to doing that at this point, you always got to turn your yields back on if that's something you want to play with. Most probably do. And we'll pick up right where we left off in the previous episode. We just finished off the independent power that was up here. We were then able to place down our second settlement finally, and we're going to send this warrior unit's going to go up here and try to grab this cave discovery up here. And our army is going to regroup and heal down here. Why? Because Mr. Frederick decided to denounce us, which is a little bit concerning to me. And so we're kind of wondering what Frederick over here, as the Egyptians, is maybe thinking. What's he going to do? He's obviously, we can see that he's got units. We can see he's got units up here as well. Units that are, it appears, actually fighting. What's happening up here? Frederick, what is your relationship with... No, neutral with everybody. Who is he fighting? Is he fighting the Moreau units? Maybe he was fighting? No, he couldn't have been fighting Moreau. How are these units damaged? Well, we'll find out. There's something going on over here, and it looks like Himiko now, who is a potential war target for us, is also like there's a little gathering here of some military forces. So something's going on near Moreau, who is our suzerain. It's our city state, and there's a little gathering of troops here. We might want to be paying attention to what's going on here. It doesn't look like anyone's going to declare war on anybody else, but somebody's been fighting something. If they were they couldn't be fighting Moreau because we've had them. Maybe they were, and they stopped when the Sioux happened. I'm not entirely sure. So we'll find out soonish what's going on over there. We also have our new scout, right? Our new scout is out here kind of scoping out the spot for a new potential city settle right alongside this navigable river. And we also have this settler that is going to go settle, I think, right on this oasis and snag up all of these lovely resources right here that we're going to get plus 2 gold on for our trait that we have. And finally, to fully update everything, we have 1 turn left on the pyramids. And I mentioned that we were going to get pyramids maybe. One of the things that I've learned throughout playing the game is, despite the fact that you might have a ton of production into it, and you might even have more production than the AI into it, the AI always has priority if you are tied with them on a turn. So if there are any AI that are going to complete a wonder on the same turn that you are going to complete it, they will always get to complete it first, to my understanding. So I had Colossus stolen from me in the game I was playing over on the Twitch streams in our Carthage game, and I thought we had it for sure. It was 1 turn. We had like a smidge of production left. It wasn't, I thought we had it for sure. And then it turns out, no, we didn't. Somebody from the other continent that we didn't even know was building it, and they finished it on the exact same turn we did. And as it turns out, it appears that the AI will always get priority over you when building one of those. I feel like it should be the opposite way around, but apparently that is not the case. The tie goes to the AI, not to the player. I don't understand the logic behind that. I thought in Civ 6, I thought it always went to the person that had the most production into it on the prior turn, or something like that. Like, in other words, you would have finished it first based on your production numbers. It doesn't appear that that happens in Civ 7, so maybe a possible change for the future that could be nuanced into the game. So we're hoping that no one else is building pyramids at the same time as us, and we'll find that out as soon as we hit this next turn button, and then we get to pick what we're building next, which should be an exercise of kind of interesting weighing of kind of what exactly we want to be getting in and how we want to accomplish that as we're jumping in. So let's press that next turn button and we will rock and roll our way into turn number 44 of our game.
Soldiers, from the summit of these pyramids, 40 centuries of history look down upon you.
There it is. Pyramids built. We've done it. We got it in. Beautiful looking wonder. Well, I like that it's adjacent to the camels. That looks really good. I feel like, again, placement is nice on this. adjacent to the river as it needs to be. And we get the nice quote when you build a wonder from Gwendolyn Christie, and you get a nice little animation. The animations in Civ 6 for wonders, I think, were far superior to this. I feel like they broke it down a little bit too much. I'd love to see a little bit more of the wonder building going up, but it is a nice little piece. They also have a nice replay button, so if you're like, wow, that was really cool and I want to see it again. Each wonder also has a little flare at the end, a little gleam at the top of the pyramid that you saw in this one. There's, fireworks, different pieces of the puzzle that go with different wonders. And they're all kind of unique in a way, and they all have kind of different animations and things that potentially happen with them. So I really like the wonders. I wish they showed a little more of the build, like a little more similar to Civ 6 probably. I think this feels like a dumbed down version of the Civ 6 wonder animations, and they were definitely a little better. If they added a few more steps of the build, that would feel better to me. But still beautiful, and we get a nice little kind of treat each time you build a wonder. You get that moment with Gwendolyn Christie with the narration and a little zoom in and animation thing, which is definitely well worth it. Like, you want it to feel special when you build a wonder. They have still captured that, so I do appreciate it. And all the wonders look gorgeous as well, so that helps, right? All right, there it is. And what we will immediately notice is, because we have the pyramids, we are now getting +1 gold and +1 production on all minor and navigable river tiles in this settlement. So we noticed that our gold and production went up on our navigable rivers, and the biggest piece for us is that the gold and production went up on our minor rivers, our smaller rivers. That is huge because we have a lot of minor rivers in this particular settlement, hence why it was a good spot for pyramids. We don't have very many navigable river tiles. In fact, we're only going to have 3 navigable river tiles, and one of those we're going to put a fishing key and other things down on, and perhaps even more of them. So we're really not going to get to use those very much at all. But the minor river tiles, which are going to eventually have Howlts on them, are going to end up monster-sized tiles because of this, in my opinion. And so that is super exciting for us to get that wonder in. Now, there was a question mark in my mind because we do know that Egypt obviously lends itself to building wonders, and Egypt is sitting on desert. We know for a fact they're sitting on desert. This is a desert tile. They're sitting on that strip, right, that is desert on the map. And so there was a question mark in my mind as to whether they're building it. Now, you have to have the navigable river in order to do it, so there's a little bit of kind of extra stuff you have to fulfill for that. And that is going to drive our decision-making process on what we do next here in Axum as well. Now, we could finish building this settler, but we're not going to quite yet. I do want to get a settler down here as fast as we can, possibly, but we're going to see what we want to do first. When we think about what we want to do in Axum, there's 2 things that are really important. 3 things, actually, when we think about it. The monument we want to get in as quickly as we can. That +5 culture is a really big deal for us right now, and the extra influence doesn't hurt, right? So the monument is really big. And then we have 2 wonders sitting down here that we really potentially want to have. Hanging Gardens gets you, let's see if I can get it on the screen. There we go. +1 food on farms in this settlement. And we are going to have several farms where we are going to put Howlts. That will eventually go away, obviously, because the +1 food on farms will not be a farm anymore. It will be a Howlt, and so it will go away. But when it's a farm, it will get that +1 food. So that's not a bad plan. Although we're not going to end up with a lot of farms. But the bigger thing is that Hanging Gardens gets you +10% growth rate in all cities. That 10% growth rate, again, because we're playing a Civ that has a buildable, unique building that is an improvement. Sorry, that is an improvement, not a building, right? A unique improvement, if you will, not a unique building. So it doesn't go in an urban district. It goes on a rural district. That makes growth really important, as we've talked about. And so to stack another 10% growth on top of what we already will have from our temple, that's going to be a really potentially big deal for us, particularly if we then choose to pick the Songhai like we're debating in the next age, when they also have a unique improvement. And so we're going to want to continue that growth in a really substantial way. So growth is going to be big for us, and so Hanging Gardens is pretty important. Now, Hanging Gardens typically goes pretty early in games of Civilization 7, so we definitely have the potential of this disappearing on us. It only takes 12 turns to build. It's tempting, very tempting, to go Hanging Gardens and then Petra. But I think that Petra is going to go earlier in this game, and Petra is just such a great wonder for us in our particular case. The text says +1 gold and production on desert terrain in this settlement must be placed on desert. So +1 gold in production is the same as the pyramids text. The +1 gold in production is on minor and navigable rivers for pyramids. It's on all desert tiles for Petra. So when we look at the fact that we have a lot of desert minor river tiles, that would be doubling up on the bonuses when we get, if we had Petra and if we had pyramids. Those tiles with the rivers on desert are going to end up being monstrous tiles to work, and we're going to be working them because we want to put Howlets on them. And so all of a sudden, you're going to end up with tiles that are just enormous, and I really want to see those tiles. So rather than take that out of the logical order, which is go into Hanging Gardens because it probably is going to be built next, we're going to go into Petra first. In my previous game I was playing, I kind of timed out when was the AI going to build Petra. I knew I wasn't going to build it in that game, and I had the AI build Petra around turn 75. So we're sitting good right now. We're only at turn 44. But again, we have the Egyptians are sitting on desert, and the Egyptians lend themselves to wonder building, and they are on desert, which means they are going to be attracted to building Petra. And we also have the fact that the science and culture of Mr. Friedrich is very, very high. So he has already got what it takes to probably build all of the things that he probably needs. So it's just a matter of like, is he going to build it? When is he going to build it? And can we beat him to it? So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to take a shot at Petra. Now, we can put Petra in a lot of different places. We obviously don't want to put it on river because we want to take advantage of those river tiles as much as possible. We have to put it on desert because that's a requirement. And so as much as it hurts, we are actually going to put it right here over top of this rough desert terrain. And the reason for that is it's rough, so we cannot put a Howelt on it, and it's desert, but it's not a river desert tile. And so we are able to place it without losing the bonuses of pyramids on a tile. And we can't place a Howelt there. So that's kind of like best of both worlds for us. It's actually going to end up providing us with some adjacency because I think what's going to happen is we're going to put it here and then right down here on this tile. You can't see because of my head right now, but it's actually double resource adjacency on this tile right here. So we can actually end up with triple adjacency for a science building or a production building right there, which is pretty nice. So this is going to be the spot I put it on because I think we're going to get at least some adjacency out of it. And it won't cost us one of our tiles that we want to put a Howelt on and get a bunch of benefit and bonuses from. It does kind of suck because that's a huge production possible tile if we throw a mine on that. But if you think about the production we're going to get from all the tiles that are going to get benefited by Petra, I think it will more than make up for the fact that there could have been a mine there. So this is where we'll put Petra. We'll go ahead and put it down, and then we'll move it up in the queue. We have a 17-turn build on that. One of the other reasons for building Petra first is because Petra is going to get us, I think at baseline, I think it said, what, 4 or 6? Something like that, production. And so when we get that production, that will get added into, if we choose to then build Hanging Gardens possibly, then we can do that. The other option is if Petra somehow gets built and we get refunded some of that production cost, then we could throw that straight into Hanging Gardens and just try to get Hanging Gardens out. That's not obviously the objective, but so a 17-turn build in Axum for Petra. And so that will take us where we want to go with that and put it right there. And we'll get, again, if you see here, some nice adjacency then for a potential library or barracks building. Any of the production or science buildings can go there. And then again, we have another double adjacency with a wonder here. So we've got a couple nice places for two of arguably some of the most important buildings in the game. In your science buildings and your production buildings, we've got 3. We're going to hopefully have 3 adjacency spots for those as we go. The other thing that we want to do is we have 465 gold. We are under threat of war potentially from Frederick, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. So I am going to spend some of that gold now. And now that we have pyramids down and we kind of know that we've got good adjacency there, I am going to go ahead and buy in the monument. The monument costs 360 gold, and so we're gonna go ahead and pay that gold because we know we want the monument right here. The monument, if you recall, has a +1 adjacency for mountain terrain, for natural wonders, and for wonders that are built, like built wonders as well. So that is what we're gonna go ahead and do is put it here. We got triple adjacency for it, so that's pretty nice. Plus it'll be adjacent to the city center, so once we put our other culture building in there as well, we'll actually have a nice quarter that'll boost up our palace a little bit. So all of those things make it a really nice spot to put this. And I like the idea of, let's just get that 5 right away. We still have 100 gold, so if we need to purchase a military unit or something like that, we still have the capability to do that. We're making 25 gold per turn as well, so not bad. And now we have some nice yields coming towards us, and we start to push our culture in a direction that's looking much better. Not compared to Himiko, but we're at least pushing in the right direction for that. So that'll do it for our building in here. And we have 17 turns. We have 24 turns till we grow. So again, growth has slowed down a ton. It'd be really nice to get some more food to Axum. So we need to try to work on seeing how we can do that. We could probably buy in a granary. We could buy in a bath. There are different things that we could do to try to accomplish that. We'll have to figure out our gardens, or I believe it is, right? We have access to gardens, which gets us +4 food, which would actually be a really big deal for us. We should probably start saving up the 360 that it takes in order to get that, and figuring out where we might want to put gardens. That's something that we should start contemplating in our mind about what that's going to look like for us. I'm not sure we have a good spot for it currently. We'll have to see as we go along. When we get to that gold level, we'll have that conversation. So let's run through the rest of our turn. We know this guy is going to step over. Let's step over here. I think that's fine. Ooh, there's some nice resources here. And I think we already decided that this is our settle spot. So we'd have access to all 3 of these. And look at this land. This is looking very interesting. We have a lake in here and then coast here. So it might be just a little peninsula looking thing. It's almost like fully cut off with this lake. A really cool looking piece of land over here. So yeah, we'll have to get a settler down there as fast as we can. Okay, we have a very damaged army. So we're going to bring them home, get them healed up. We have our merchant that's going out to try to establish a trade route with Cahokia because they have a bunch of resources that we want. Despite the fact that we want to potentially go to war, it's fine. We'll take advantage of that trade as long as we can before we end up doing that. Timing on that is going to be everything. We're going after this. We're going to keep this guy moving, and we will press the next turn button. 151 of the 170 we need to invest in Taruga, so we're keeping an eye on that, and we'll press next turn. Oh, what's happening up here? Okay, nothing. They're all just kind of mixing and mingling, and the damaged units were damaged before, and nothing is really happening over there. However, I am keeping an eye on any unit of Frederick's, and Frederick does appear to be pushing units in this direction, generally speaking. And there's also a commander he has coming up in this way, so we're keeping a close eye on this, as he has denounced us, and I really would prefer to avoid fighting him, but you know, we would get some nice experience. I want to think about saving up some gold to fill out the rest of that army, and then, oh man, let's see, what does it cost to get a second army commander? I think they're really expensive, 1,000 gold, so not worth it, but we can build one in 13 turns, so we're not going to get a second army commander probably anytime in the like near future, but if he comes over, it's going to be tempting to try to like get one, but I'm not sure if that's going to be optimal for us as we go. So let's press next turn. We'll see. Keep an eye on these units. I'm a little... Uh-oh. He's got units down here as well. And we have a settler that is going to settle and aggravate him when we settle. Oh my gosh, what is this? Himiko has a settler at our border. Okay, good to know. I'm getting a little bit nervous about the units that I see closing in on us from multiple directions. And that might mean I'm just going to spend the gold to get another warrior down here right away. We need to heal up these units something fierce, so let's go ahead and let's heal in place. And we may need to come to the defense of this settlement pretty quickly, potentially. So actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold. I'm not going to buy the warrior until we settle this city. When we settle it, we'll buy a warrior in the city. Sorry, in the settlement. It won't be a city, it'll be a town. We'll buy a warrior in it just in case there's an immediate war declaration and we can't move our army fast enough. That also means that this warrior arguably should probably come back, but I think I'm committed. I'm committed to getting him over there, so I think we're just going to do it. I don't love... I mean, again, he's not even like unfriendly with us yet per se, right? So We just want to keep an eye on what's happening here. I don't like 2 units closing in. We know there's a commander sitting back here. Feels pretty aggressive from the AI, so we just want to be in the know. And we've got the settler coming down as well. There is settle spots over here they could still snag. If we look at the settle lens, there's a strip right here where we want to put a settlement up here eventually. I'm hoping that Himiko doesn't do that, but I mean, it looks like she's got land over here. I don't know why she would be. I don't know why. It looks like maybe she has actually moved this way. Oh, there's an independent people over here. That's why. Maybe that's why she's actually squished is the problem. That's what happened. All the free land appears to be down here, and Himiko ended up squished up at the top. And that's, I think, why she forward settled us, and why she's like looking for a place to settle in this direction. And she even put down a settlement right here. She could settle right here. I mean, we wouldn't care. We would just go burn it down. But like, eventually we'd have to, I think, right? Because I wasn't gonna put anything in here. But now, I don't know. Who knows what she's gonna do? Who knows? We'll find out, I guess. We'll keep an eye on it. Okay, I'd like to step and... Yeah, let's do a step in this direction, and then we'll hit our search button. Okay, yeah, so there's more... Okay, well, we're gonna have to pop in and around here. We gotta figure out what the heck's going on in this area. Now, Frederick had a scout that went over here already, so we're pretty much... I don't think we're gonna find discoveries anymore, which is kind of why I'm pushing for this one, because... I think it's actually something we could get, and it might be one of the last ones we might actually be able to get, so... I wish I could see more of Frederick's territory. If we levied a unit from Moreau, we could, like, pop it over there and, like, see real quick. Ooh, can you levy scouts? So here's a quick screen we haven't looked at before. Once you are the suzerain of a city-state, you have additional options to attempt to kind of boost things with a particular city-state. So you can promote growth with them. So if you want them to continue growing, for example, if you had a trade route with them and you want them to get a particular resource, you could promote growth. And so they will grow a little bit faster to try, and that will expand them to new tiles. You could bolster their military. So if they're getting attacked and you need them to defend themselves a little bit, you can create a military unit for them. And then you also can to levy units, right? So you can target a unit. So if you press this target button, you will be able to grab a particular unit. So it's pretty spendy, but it could be useful when you have nothing else to do with your influence. You can actually levy units. And this is my understanding of this, and in the comments, you can correct me if I'm wrong. This is a permanent buy. You get the unit. So we could technically grab any of these units that they have, and those units would become ours. It's a permanent addition to our army, which actually might be something that we think about doing here in the potential near future. We're going to spend all of our influence on the next turn investing in another city-state, but after that, we might, I mean, even this scout would potentially be useful because we haven't scouted anything over there. It's actually really tempting to take that now, but I want to get that I want to get invested. This scout that's sitting right here could easily explore this area and let us know kind of what the heck's going on with Frederick. That actually could be helpful information. So in a different world where I didn't have the Taruga to invest in, that would be something I would definitely consider. And we'll probably consider it here as we move in towards more turns. If we don't have another city-state to invest in, it would make a lot of sense then potentially to grab a couple units from Moreau or even from Tyre in order to bolster our military, because that might help from an influence standpoint. We don't have to buy them or produce them. We could use our influence to purchase an army potentially when we get to that point, which would not be a bad idea. So, all right, let's next turn it. Keep things rolling. There is our settler moving out. Himiko's settler did not move, and we now lost sight of Frederick's unit over here. All right. So that leaves us some interesting things that are about to potentially happen. Our first interesting thing is going to be settling this. We picked this spot, right, because it gets us access 1, 2, 3 to this gold, 1, 2, 3 to this silk, and 1, 2, 3 all the way. Technically, if Tyre doesn't grab it, we can grab these llamas as well. 1, 2, 3. It does not get us to these camels, but we've got quite a few camels within our range already. And if we want these camels, we'll have to settle something a little bit further. We don't want to push in any real direction. Technically, we could settle here. Oh, technically, we could settle here. Still have access to these camels, but that doesn't give us access to this really nice mountain nook here. And so I think we're going to stick with settling on the oasis here. The camels down here we'll have to think about with somebody else potentially. I don't want to get too greedy, you know? But right here is a great settle because it gives us access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different resources. And it's actually a really good potential city settle spot because of some of the nooks that it gives us access to and some of the adjacencies that we will have, right? We've got multiple really solid adjacencies for resources. We've got some mountain adjacencies going for us. So there's quite a few good things here. The only thing it doesn't have is it doesn't have any coast or navigable river, so doesn't have good adjacency for like our gold buildings and our food buildings and things like that. So we'll just have to think about how we want to utilize this particular settle. With smack dab in the middle of the desert though, so we'll get some combat bonuses on our units if we're fighting here. And so we'll go ahead and press that settle button. We'll settle the town of Lalibela. I love that name. It's an excellent city name. And again, I am a little bit concerned. We need another warrior anyway to finish off our army. We don't even have an army anywhere down here. And so I'm going to buy a warrior immediately. I'm going to spend the gold right away. I'm going to buy a warrior just to make sure that we have some defensive capabilities here. Now, I don't plan on settling any further inland than this. We obviously want coast based off of who we're playing. This was a settle for resources, right? We want access to as many resources as possible. And so that's why we're kind of going after this. If we look at our resources currently, we are not currently full on resources. We don't actually have to have the camels. We're going to be investing in camels here shortly in our capital when we grow. So we don't have to beeline it for these camels. We got some things we want. Oh man, it would be really nice to get this gold. But I really don't think we want to push in this direction with our borders right away. I think we want to push down here. That gets us access to so many different resources if we go in this direction, including the wine and the llamas, which would be helpful. The silk is also really good. So we're running into a situation where I have to choose which resource we want to push in the direction of with our growth. I think I'm going to push towards Tyre and just try to take as many tiles from them as possible so that I don't end up losing tiles to the city-state that I've invested in. So I'm going to grow. We're going to go this way first in the production direction. I would love to have more food, to be honest, but let's push this way. Then we'll grab this tile and be able to kind of build in here. And what we'll do is probably buy in a building and do a little hopping around with our population to try to grab some of these resources. So first things first, though, we'll go ahead and grab this. It's going to get us a few gold. It's not going to help us grow faster, which is kind of a pain. But let's try to reach out. And grab all this stuff. So once we get this tile, we'll have claimed everything we can. And so that will make sure that we get all the land we need from Tyre. And then we can kind of figure out where we want to go from there as far as resources are concerned. Okay. That is that. 16 turns left on Petra as I continually watch that with a hawk's eye, and we will press the next turn button. Units are healing, so that's good. We need some time to heal our units as well. We have a flood, but that's all the way across the map. And we have a growth in our town of Kalo. I don't know what the pronunciation is on that. I think we're gonna go with Kalo. And our growth should probably take us towards one of these. And we do need food. And so I think let's drive in the direction of this kaolin because we really do need additional food. So I think that's the direction I'm going to go. We'll go here and then out towards the kaolin, the best of our ability. That feels good to me. We were thinking about going for the jade and we could get there faster technically, but we need food in our capital, something fierce. So I'm going to go ahead and jump. There's happiness on this mine. This is a better tile, technically, right? We'll take the mine tile and then move up, I think. All right, we have a diplomatic action to respond to. Napoleon would like to do something with me. He's offering me some extra happiness, but I don't want to invest in this. I would like to accept, actually find, again, I talked about this one before, but the support, which you can't see, gives me +3 happiness. This actually gets me +2 influence, and influence is more valuable currently to me than happiness. Although, again, happiness is a really great resource to have to get to those critical celebrations. So you can get more policy cards in, so you can have the celebration effects. But let's go ahead and accept this. That'll keep our relationship up with Napoleon as well, which is a really good thing for us. And then we will progress along to do a few things here. I want to explore here as well. And now I want to go this way. I think let's go up this way first, explore, and then what we can do is we can cut back through here because we want to get back to the mainland eventually. So let's go all the way over here, And probably what we'll do is we'll pop onto like this tile and then do another search, and then we'll swing back through here and then get south of Taruga over there. That's what we'll do. We're also gonna get suzerainty of Tyre at some point 3 turns from now. That might reveal some of the map to us as well, which because we get the sight lines of their units, as you can see with Moreau. So we'll see if Tyre's maybe explored anything down here. Maybe, maybe not. And that'll actually that'll tell us where our scout should go as well. Now, we have 170 influence, so we're going to jump down here to Taruga. No one is invested in them yet, so we're going to be the first to invest. So this is going to be good for us. We're going to spend all of our influence, unfortunately, on this. So go ahead and do that. They're already friendly with us, which is why we're doing it. And we will now have invested in a cultural independent power. We'd love to get a science one as well. I don't know if that's going to be possible for us. We'll see as we get going. All right. This unit is on its way. We're going to be pretty close. We'll get him back down as quickly as possible. He's got, what, 2 turns before he can grab that? And then he'll just swing all the way back down and reinforce into our army. We'll have at least 1 full army to be able to defend ourselves with. And we're getting gold at a pretty decent clip now, so we'll keep a stockpile of that in case we need to recruit a second army. This settler is... I wonder. I think it's going to move up in here and do a weird settle. Hence grabbing this Kaolin is probably a good idea, because we actually cut off a lot of the settleable land over here, at least to some degree, so we can like have land on retainer. So hopefully we can grow that settlement as quickly as possible. Oh boy, it's getting dicey. This guy can just fortify in. We'll have him sit in Lalibela. Love that city name. Yeah, there it goes. There goes the settler moving in that direction. Fascinating. 14 turns left here on our wonder. I didn't check which of those volcanoes was erupting, but that's okay. My relationship with Frederick has gone from neutral to unfriendly. That is because he has denounced me. Oh, we also settled close to him, right? Oh, we did actually get a minus for that. Right, and then a minus on his leader agenda. What is his leader agenda? Likes the civilization with the greatest number of military units, dislikes the one with the smallest number of military units. I have the smallest number of military units because that's why Napoleon likes me. So we're at odds. We're never going to be able to please both Napoleon and Frederick at the same time. If we have the largest military, Napoleon won't like us. If we have the smallest military, Frederick won't like us. So getting Frederick and Napoleon both as our continent neighbors, highly unfortunate, because we will never be able to satisfy both of their leaders' agendas at the same time. In fact, it will always be opposite for them, which is kind of funny, actually. But it's fun. I like that Napoleon is the one that we are friends with, I guess, although he's way down here, so maybe it would have been better to be friends with Frederick. I don't know. We have to build a huge military in order to get friends with Frederick, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Definitely not looking, it's not looking great. That's for sure. All right. All right, so let's go, let's pop, man, I think this way, and then again, we'll do search. Yeah, okay, there's some nice stuff up here. There's a nice town up here. There's so much coastal water here to take advantage of. Yeah, that's gonna be nice. So if we put a city here, we could put a town. Ooh, how are we gonna get access to these deer? Deer are pretty nice. +4 food in towns on deer. Deer is a nice resource. So the city, 1, 2, 3, gets access to all of this, but it won't get access to this last tile. That's fine. And then we could put a town. Oh, we'd have to put the town like here, maybe? That town would, let's see, 1, 2, 3. It would get access to the rubies. The city gets access to these. So I guess if we put a town, like a fishing town right out here, that gets access to these 3 resources. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. And then we could set another town can go in here somewhere off this river. And then we could have another town in the hills over here. This is a crazy area with the rivers and the cliffs and everything here. This is a massive, like, just navigable mess. Hard to get anywhere in here, but I think we'll put a town in here-ish as well. So, city, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 towns probably in here somewhere. And then we have Axum as a city, Lalibela will be a city, Calo will be a city. We'll get a town in up here. And then, I mean, we have other city opportunities here, so we might even need to have a town settle in here just to have towns to support more of our cities. So just things that are running through my mind as we're going through that. Let's jump in the water. There's so many good resources up here too. Heck, you could put a town up here just to get these resources, like another fishing town. Possibility, right? All right, we have 93 gold. We have 16 influence. We're well on our way to getting, our influence is at a decent level, right? If we check out, yeah, we have plus 13s. We're getting the highest influence per turn currently. Oh, we got burning arrows. Oh, I forgot. Because Himiko is playing as the Mississippians, she has the burning arrow units, and they are devastating because they light the tile on fire that they shoot at, and that tile then does damage over time to any units standing in it. It's a fantastically fun feature, but it is brutal to try to play against because the way you have to maneuver is very difficult when you're fighting burning arrows. That's going to make war against Himiko a massive pain when we choose to do it. I really think that's the direction this is going. So long as we can avoid war with Frederick and Napoleon, I really think war against Himiko is likely just because of the city spots that she has. We could technically ignore her. We have a lot of land down here to play with, so we'll see. We'll see. Again, we got 2 units from Frederick still close to us. The denouncement ends, I believe, on this next turn. Just one more turn of denouncement, and then we'll see where things go from there. Our trader has reached Cahokia. We're getting access to a ton of stuff, which is going to be absolutely beautiful. Let's go ahead and establish that trade route. We'll also be making a road. I think we're close enough to make a road, so this is going to help our relationship with Himiko, but man, we can't pass up these resources, eh? So let's grab that. And now we find out that we have a ton of resources available to us. So here we go. Now we get to do some resource allotment. We haven't really talked about the resource screen very much because everything's been auto-assigning into our capital, right? So you have a bunch of different types of resources. You have Empire and Treasure resources, and Empire resources function empire-wide. So we have silver that's getting us plus 20% gold towards producing units. We have horses that are getting us plus 1 combat strength on cavalry, and we have hardwood, which is getting us plus 20% production towards naval units. All of those are applied to all of our settlements and cities, right? So this is empire-wide resources. They slot up here. You don't have to move them. You don't have to do anything with them. They're just automatically bonuses that your empire gets. Then you have 2 other types of resources at this point in the game. City resources, which can only be slotted in cities, right? Axum is currently our only city. And then you have bonus resources, which can be slotted in cities or towns. And you can see we have 2 towns here now. You'll notice that the city has quite a few more slots. The town does not have as many slots. Camels actually get you more slots, so camels become rather important. And right now, what we really need is to boost up our capital city of Axum. However, we have access to silk now. We definitely want the silk to go into our capital. That is a plus 10% culture, which is a nice little boost for us, up to 8.7. We have 2 slots left here in our capital. This will get us more production, plus 2 production, plus 2 happiness from the sheep. The wool, the dyes, will get us plus 4 happiness. We don't really need happiness here necessarily. The wild game get you plus 2 food in cities or plus 4 food in towns. Eventually, we will want to move the wild game into a town, right? But right now, we're struggling for food in Axum. And so I'm going to put this as a resource into Axum. As soon as we get access to that kaolin that we were looking at in our other city, we'll put the wild game into one of our towns because it's more beneficial in a town, and put the kaolin in the city because it's a city-based resource. And then the dyes get us plus 4 happiness. Now, we have to weigh a little bit of something here. Any resource that is unassigned, you'll see there in the text it says yield bonuses when unassigned. Plus 1 gold, plus 1 happiness. So anytime a resource is left in your unassigned area, it will automatically get your empire plus 1 gold and plus 1 happiness. Now, we want more than that if we can. It does sometimes make sense to leave resources here to just take the plus 1 gold and plus 1 happiness. For us right now, that's probably not true. So let's take our dyes. We'll look at our lowest happiness area, and we'll just put our dyes in Lalibela Town to up their happiness and bring our total happiness up higher as well. That will bring all of our stuff up. And now Axum is producing at a much higher rate. They've got a little more food and all of that stuff. So that's going to go very well for us. Getting access to those resources via trade, definitely a big deal for us because we haven't gotten access to a bunch of resources yet via our own cities and towns. We will soon, but we're kind of been waiting on that, right? Anytime we can get a little extra production into Axum, we're going to take that for our Petra build. All right, we will go the next turn. There goes that settler. It looks confused. The movement of this settler makes me think that they're not going to settle, maybe. I don't love that these burning arrows are moving down here. Himiko! We have a slightly positive relationship. Hey, Himiko, what the heck do you think you're doing? Oh my gosh, that's a lot of units. Are these guys healed yet? We might need to, I'm gonna keep holding gold. That's 1, 2, 3 med J's now that are coming towards us. I don't love that. We know there's a commander back here somewhere as well. Right now, I think we can fight this off. We could always, again, our influence is going up, and we don't have another place to invest it right now, so we could use some influence to snag units from Tyre or Moreau. Tyre not yet, but soon. Oh boy. Mount Isan has erupted, and we will... I don't think I need to know anything else about this. I do want to get a little bit more information down here. I wonder if I should just get... No, my land-based movement is going to be faster, right? Oh, not really because of all these mangroves. Let's jump in the water. Let's jump in the water. We'll swing around this way and then get back on land over here where we're out of all this like swampy mangrove. That's like all of that's all just deleting our movement anyway. So we'll go just as fast in the water as we would on land here. Normally you want your scouts on land because they move a lot faster there, but let's grab this. We did it. A wilderness shrine lies in a tranquil grotto. Its devotees promise healing and silence. We can spend time in quiet seclusion, minus 100 culture, minus 100% culture for 1 turn. So we'd sacrifice 20 culture, but we would get 75 happiness towards the next celebration and fully heal the unit, which is actually damaged, which is not bad. That would put us straight into a celebration. Or, oh no. Or we could get plus 10 production to Axum. Oh man, a tough choice. Any additional production towards our wonder though, which has gone down to 12 turns by the way, which is pretty exciting. Our growth is down to 14 because of all those resources we put in. I think we have to sell out. So definitely, this is worth it, right? The minus 20 culture for 75 happiness is definitely worth it. Plus we get to heal our unit, which actually is really nice for us. I think in a normal circumstance, I would definitely take spending time in quiet seclusion to actually study with them. But we're going to take the production because I'm a hard push wonders because I do want both those wonders if I can get them. 10 production doesn't seem worth this, but I'm going to hard sell on it. I'm going to take the production anyway. What does that drop us to? 11 turns? Oh, that was pretty substantial, eh? They took a whole turn. We took a whole turn off our production timer. Oh, I think it's going to be worth it in the end. All right. Probably couldn't have hoped for anything better than a tough decision on one of those, right? All right, let's roll into our next turn. We're keeping an eye on whether we need to buy maybe a slinger out of here might be a good idea. We've got some slingers here. They are not quite fully healed, so we'll leave them 1 more turn. Then we'll start moving them out towards these magic. If he declares war, I want to be prepared to take a shot at just like right away being able to shoot him would be a really big deal. Now, one of the nice things about our current situation is that we are the suzerain of Moreau. All of Moreau's units, if he declares war on us, would fight his units because we have suzerainty, right? So right now he has free passage through. If he declares war, the Moreau units is something that he'll have to fight through as well. Now they won't like come to help us fight necessarily unless we use our influence to grab them, but they will defend their own lands. And so if they see units to fight, they will fight them from my experience. So we have a little bit of help coming from that. Which is kind of nice. Technically, Tyre is going to be in that spot as well with us. So we're sitting in an okay spot. A lot because of the investment we made early in Moreau is helping us quite a bit there. Okay, there goes that settler. These units are all heading in a specific direction. Oh, and we have met our final friend. We had another friend on this continent. I didn't realize that we were going to have another one, but we do. Ada Lovelace is here. That's lovely. 25% progress being made towards completing this age. There we go. And my diplomatic action on Tyre has completed. Nice. So there is our suzerainty of Tyre. There we go. I'm saying it right most of the time, I feel like. We've met a new civilization.
Ada, a pleasure. Tell me, what are your thoughts on calculus?
Calculus was a tough subject, but I got through it. Actually, I got good grades in calculus. All right. We can spend our influence for a friendly greeting. We will, of course, spend our influence for a friendly greeting. We want that friendly greeting. I'd also love to know where she's located. I have no idea. Could make Ada. If we could make a friend out of Ada, that'd be great for us. All right. Ada is playing as Rome. I have played as Rome a couple different times. Rome is very powerful. I very much have enjoyed my time playing as Rome. Where is Ada Lovelace? An Ada Lovelace scout is right here. So maybe Ada is down here somewhere and just had never made her way up in this direction? I mean, it would make sense because there's 3 people, there's 2 people over here, there's 2 people in the north, and so this area is just widely empty. So Ada Lovelace, maybe our southern neighbor, which is perfectly fine with me. Hopefully we can maintain a decent relationship with her. We're off to a good start. She likes the leader with the most masteries and dislikes the one with the least masteries. That might be, relatively speaking, bad for us. I don't think we've done very many masteries, if any. So we may be the one with the least masteries right off the get-go, and that might spell a little bit of trouble for our relationship, but we'll see what we can do. I'd love it if she had cities on the coast that I could use my DAOs, my special unique unit, to create trade routes with. All right, let's pick a city-state bonus. Tyre is now ours, and this will allow us to grab another piece of our suzerain puzzle. We already chose Lapis Lazuli, and so now we get the option of picking some other things. I'm not going to choose the Emporium because we're already going to be building a bunch of unique improvements. We don't need more of those to build. We get this one, Mensari. Gold buildings receive +1 gold for every city-state you're a suzerain of. We don't have any gold buildings right now, so this is not super useful for us currently. +5% gold for every city-state you're a suzerain of. We are a suzerain of 2 city-states. That would be 10% of our gold. So what, 3 or something like that? We could get +2 resource capacity in the capital, which actually, again, we have camels, so this is kind of good. Would be really good for someone like Carthage or someone like that. Or we could take Ganzabara, +1 gold on warehouse buildings. This bonus can be chosen by multiple civilizations. This is very tempting. +1 gold on warehouse. Well, it's not as good as the 10% though, probably. Well, I don't know. How many warehouse buildings do we have right now? We have 2. That would be 2 gold right away, plus another gold on all the warehouse buildings. Yeah, if we take the freeholders, which is 5% gold for every city-state you're suzerain of, right now that's 3 gold, so that's more than our warehouse bonuses. So I think this is the one to grab, because our gold is only going to go up, and we're going to end up with a suzerain of at least 3, right? We've invested in another. So that's going to be 15% of our gold. So I think freeholders is definitely the way to go here. Stockpiles would be tempting, but I think I'm going to go freeholders for the immediate 3 gold, and then that gold will grow over time. The more gold we make, it's percent-based. So the more gold we make, the more gold we're going to get. The more suzerains we have, the more we're going to get. So we're going to end up at 15% on this, at least, which is nice. So let's do freeholders. There we go. We have taken it. This is also the turn we entered into a celebration. So we like that. We get to pick our celebration thing. We're going to take our 20% food oligarchy this time. We don't need our 30% production towards constructing buildings. We are not constructing buildings for the next 10 turns. We will be constructing Petra. Petra does not count as a building. Wonders don't count as buildings. There's a separate bonus for that in a different government type. So we're not going to be building buildings, so we might as well take our food. Also, growth is, as we've mentioned, important. So we'll go ahead and take that 20% growth. That will be for 10 turns. And we can now grab our next policy cards. We've got toolmaking and charismatic leader in. I don't think I need the +2 influence per turn, although it's pretty dang nice. Priesthood is one of the best cards in the game if you have a lot of settlements down. We have 3, so this is +6 gold, and it goes up, obviously, 2 for each settlement as you go. 6 gold feels very valuable right now, and it will go up more as we settle more. So we'll go ahead and put that in for now. It's tempting to go with oratory, but we'll hold for a moment. There goes our gold. We're just going to keep increasing our gold so that we can continue to buy things, which is going to be hopefully good for us in the long run. 10 turns on Petra. And technically, hold on, let me open my trade lens real quick. So we could trade with Tyre, who, oh no! Oh, they did. They grabbed the llamas. It's fine. We're going to trade with them anyway. We'll end up grabbing this tile probably in the next age. Because all the independent powers despawn at the end of the age and then respawn in at the second turn. So we'll snag this tile probably with Lollibella. We'll try to remember to keep like a growth or something for that. So we'll be able to grab that probably pretty early, but they've got it for now, so we'll have to trade with them to get it. It's fine. We were going to take a little while to get there. Now we could get incense, which is plus science, which would be really handy if we went to Moreau. So the question I'm asking myself is, do we go trade with Moreau right away? Because we could. They're not coastal, unfortunately, so we can't use a Dow to make that trade route. But if we go to Axum, our merchant costs 200 gold. So once we have the 200 gold, depending on what Frederick decides to do, our relationship is minus 40 right now. Yeah, although this sanction might run out at some point, I think. I'm not sure when this sanction will go away. We'll have to see. It might not. We might just be... Frederick might be just watching and waiting for the opportunity to take advantage of getting to us. I do think that what we'll do is probably go take this tile still anyway, just to grab the rest of this land, and then we'll probably go after the wine or something like that as we go. Or maybe we take the... Might even move in the direction of these. We'll find out when we get there. All right, this guy's coming around. We're gonna stay in the water, just swing our way around back to the other side. And our army is now fully ready. And honestly, I might want to just pre-deploy these guys and move them into defensive locations. It just feels like there's an imminent possible threat. So let's go ahead and deploy some of our units. Oops, that didn't deploy. Oh, I can't quite get there, but we'll move him here. We'll stay in our land. Let's grab our other slinger. I auto-deployed both of them instead of deploying one at a time. We'll go ahead and create some fortifications. And we'll have our commander just hang out for a little while. Commander can sit... Well, actually, we might as well move the commander up one, right? Oh, he has no movement. Oh, because I used the deploy action. This guy grabbed that. I'm just going to path him all the way down. Like, just come back as fast as you can to Axum. That's going to take... How many turns? 9 turns? Holy smokes, that's a long trip. Okay, well, he'll be back in 9 turns, and then he'll start healing once he enters. Well, he won't because he'll be moving, but we'll get him healed up and stuff like that once we get there. We got plenty of gold. We can just keep hanging on to that for potential other purposes. And again, we're just watching Frederick's units. Let's go one more turn. Maybe 2, if we can swing it. I feel like we've been playing kind of slow in this particular episode. The commander I'm going to move up. And then again, let's just build fortifications. We'll have this guy build fortifications. That guy's already got fortifications built. Napoleon has changed his relationship. Did that go up or down? Nice. Okay. Looks like up. This guy's going to swing around again. I'm going to keep him... Well, I guess we can cut this way. This way would be faster, I think, right? Let's cut through here. We'll cut through this right here. Although it would have been interesting to find out how much more water is down here, but we'll see that when we get there. Let's press next turn. 200 gold in our coffers. When we get to 360, that's when we can start thinking about what we might want to do, and or, you know what we should look at?
Conquers all thought, but the written word commands it.
Interesting quote. We now have access to our library, so that's nice, and possibly even something that we might want to buy in as we're kind of rolling in that direction. So as we kind of look at our purchase capability, right, 360 gets us access to the garden or the library, which would be nice for us. We also debate a merchant. Settler is another one that we probably want to debate. 300 for a settler. And arguably getting down here and putting this one down sooner rather than later and getting the population starting to grow would be a really big thing for us. This settler is definitely going to go settle up here, so that's just going to be another issue we have to deal with. We'll push towards this Kaelin as fast as we can. Try to grab as much of the resources as we can that we can reach anyway. So that is something, yeah. Settler might be really nice to snag and just get this down here. We'll have to think about how we want to use our gold. Our science is also really weak, so getting our library in would be a really big deal for us technically. And oh, we're getting close. We're gonna get close in techs as well to our... We got one more tech before we get to our production building, which is gonna be important. A message to the future. A sage advises that the incision of symbols into the stone will communicate the greatness of Axum to future generations. The inscription's content is hotly debated in the palace corridor. Soldiers push for their military powers, merchants request for their economic success, and the sage suggests the piety of the people. We have 3 options here. We can honor the army, get plus 25 science. We can invite prosperity and get 50 gold, or we can praise the divine and get 25 culture. Culture sounds really great. We are really behind in science though. And actually, the idea of, so when we put it into science, we are going to be picking bronze working because we want to get access to these 2 military units in case we get attacked, and the barracks for production capabilities. I'm going to click bronze working. We're going to go ahead and just queue that up right away because we know that's where we want to go. And in the case of this, actually really makes me want to take the science and just try to get to that a little faster. Because if we get attacked by units that are more advanced than ours, I think we're in trouble. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the science. Probably the culture is the better play here. Definitely not the gold for us. We're already making a bunch of gold. But this feels... I think the science feels good. I'm going to take the science. I'm going to honor the army, our tiny little army that has conquered, though. We have done some conquering, right? Let's get this guy back. Water. And I think that's going to do it for our episode. Pretty close to 10 turns again. Pretty standard operating procedure for one of my episodes. I do think we'll go faster at some point as we get going, although I say that a lot and it rarely happens. But 8 turns left on Petra. We already got pyramids down. Feels pretty good. We've got an army kind of back in a defensive position, and we will call it an episode there. Thank you so much for tuning in for this episode. If you like the content, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you know when we release these videos. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next week.